What's going on, everyone? Happy Thursday to everyone. Hopefully, everyone is doing well and having a great day so far. It is time now for the Thursday edition of the Climate Update for Thursday, February 1st, 2024. That's right, we have entered into a new month, and we do have quite a bit of things to take a look at today. First thing we will look at is preliminary tornado numbers that just came in for the year of 2023, a record to look at. And then, of course, the United States forecast, and it is the Thursday edition of the Climate Update, which means we will be talking about the U.S. Drought Monitor and, of course, the Long Range Forecast. If you enjoy learning about the weather or climate, we talk about the weather in the United States, and oftentimes we go into what's going on around the world. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe down below, share this with your family, friends, social media, anyone who would enjoy seeing this. Alrighty. Let's start off with this preliminary tornado numbers that just came in from the Storm Prediction Center. Let's read what they say. 2023 had 1,269 preliminary confirmed tornadoes, which is the 12th most on record between 1950 and 2023, and greater than the 10-year average of 1,155. March 31st, get this, had the third most tornadoes on record, 138, and 44 strong tornadoes, including 11 EF3 and 1 EF4 tornado. A busy summer had the greatest number of June to August tornadoes since 2008, the most July to December wind reports, and set monthly records for the most 2+ inch diameter hail in June and July. The September to December period was quiet with the fewest tornado counts since 1999. 2023 had 74 days of enhanced level 3 of 5 risk, which is the most since enhanced was added in fall of 2014. So, yes, the year had the most enhanced risk days ever. And let's take a look at this. We have to take a look at fatalities, and of course, you see on this chart, one year does stick out, and that is 2011. Of course, no one can forget the April outbreaks that occurred down in the south. They were really bad. But last year, it was much lower than that, but still, there were 83 fatalities from tornadoes in 2023, and you can see here on this chart as well, also 83 in 2023, which is more than just the 22 that occurred in 2022, and of course, 2021 was not a good year. It was 103, and personally, locally, where I live in Pennsylvania, we had quite a few tornadoes that year. Moving on here, we're going to take a look at a record now. Charlotte has set the record for wettest January in Charlotte since 1962. That's right, they had a really wet January. This month has been the wettest January in Charlotte since 1962. Records show the Queen City has seen 9.27 inches of rain. Wow, that's a lot of rain. And yeah, it's been the theme on the East. There has not been a lot of sunshine in the East, especially in the Mid-Atlantic. It's been really cloudy. We had a cloudy day here again today in Philadelphia. You can see it here on the satellite picture as the satellite's starting to go into dark mode because we're going to be coming to nighttime pretty soon. And you can see it was cloudy again. There's a Clipper system up to the north. That's going to come down. West Coast continues to see showers. Even some of these showers containing some thunder and lightning. It's possible. And that system is going to continue to make its way over towards the south, and there is a thunderstorm threat for tomorrow in Texas. Taking a look at what's going on out in the Pacific, you can see there is another low that is continuing the spin up here in the Pacific Northwest. It has been very active, and unfortunately, this is not the last of it. That system we've been talking about for next week, it's real, it's going to happen. You can see here, Las Vegas, you are getting some rain today. California, San Francisco, still showers for you. Rest of Nevada, still seeing showers. Idaho, Boise, Idaho, you're getting some showers today as well. Let's continue our little tour here. Let's go up to the northeast states. You can see Maine, some rain and snow showers for you today. This is a part of a cold front. And essentially what is going to happen, you're seeing back across Cleveland, Ohio, this strip of light rain. That is actually going to blossom over Pennsylvania tonight and provide some light to maybe even steady rainfall. And the models have gone a little wetter. Yesterday I was saying the NAM was overdone. That's not the case now. A lot of models have gone wetter with this, so overnight tonight, from about Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, through this area, right about here, Philadelphia, Atlantic City, New Jersey, Central New Jersey, you could see 1/4 of an inch to maybe even over 3/10 of an inch of rainfall tonight, because there's going to be a forcing mechanism with this system that is going to blossom the amount of precipitation with the low-level jet that will set up with this. But once this clears through tomorrow, you're looking for a dry stretch that's going to last for many days, well into next week. Yes, the sun's going to return in the northeast. It's a good thing. It's been gloomy in the northeast and mid-Atlantic. All right, taking a look at the National Hazards Map, let's refresh this. You can see here there is a winter weather advisory in far north Maine for that system that's coming through with the front. They're actually going to be closer to the area of low pressure, so 1 to 2, maybe isolated 3 inches of snow is possible for you. You can see Nevada. Look at this. In Nevada, yes, there are several winter storm warnings and weather advisories in the higher elevations. You can see that is the case among much of the Rocky Mountains because that system is continuing to come through. Flood watches, they're still up for parts of California. And then we come down here to Texas and take a look at this. I want you to take note of this. There are high wind watches and high wind warnings, which are now up for portions of Texas. And this is something that you need to take note of. West winds between 40 to 60 miles per hour with gusts up to 90 miles per hour in southwest Texas, down near New Mexico as well. Even portions of southern New Mexico, you could be in this as well. So if you're in those higher elevations, I know there's some mountainous regions out there, you really want to pay close attention. If you live out there, it's not a largely populated area, but again, it's something you have to pay attention to, and it could cause power outages, especially with those gusts up to 90 miles per hour. All right, moving on. Let's take a look at the Weather Prediction Center. Let's take a look at the days 1 through 7 precipitation. You see two things that stick out. Very wet in the west, but in the northeast, extremely dry. That's good news for the northeast. We need the ground to dry out. It is so saturated. It's the wintertime. This is not summertime. So moisture does not evaporate as fast, and the ground is still very saturated. I've been seeing lawns that still have water sitting in them because there's been so much rain back in December and now in January. In the southeast, there is going to continue to be some rainfall activity for you from this first system that comes across. It does not look like this coastal low that develops off the southeast coast is going to stall. It looks like it's going to move right along, but nonetheless, you could see anywhere from 1 to 2 inches of rain from the Georgia coast, South Carolina coast. It's something we have to watch. New Orleans, Louisiana, along the Gulf Coast, you could see some heavier rainfall as well. And of course, we do have a severe weather threat for Texas, which we'll take a look at the Storm Prediction Center in just a moment. And I have to continue to show this. California, you're looking at very heavy rainfall next week with this next storm system, and showers in between. That's going to add up as well. Generally, anywhere from a widespread 3 to 5 inches of rainfall across much of the state. Then there'll be areas of 4 to 8 inches with locally 10 plus inches of rainfall. And you can see that on here. It's being shown to you very well with this bright yellow that's popping up. That's locally 10 inches of rainfall. So you do want to stay mindful to that. The ground is super saturated. There's going to be a wind with the storm, and with the ground being saturated, trees could be weakened. So some trees could fall down. There could be mudslides. There's definitely going to be a flood threat. I've been warning you about this for days and days, and it's looking more and more likely to come now. All right, let's take a look at the severe weather threat for tomorrow. There is a marginal risk in Texas, and it's a fairly large size marginal risk. It also goes into Oklahoma, but within that, there is now the introduction of a slight risk. There is a small risk of tornadoes, a wind threat, and a hail threat. Hail threat is the highest. It's actually at 15%, and that's something to be mindful for tomorrow. Of course, I'll be tweeting about this as it occurs on my Twitter page at Climate Data Report, and that's RPT at the end. I'll have a link to it down below so you can follow me on Twitter. And there's also now the introduction of a day 3 threat. We thought this would happen. There's a marginal risk now in Texas, and that does partly go into Louisiana now. I think that's going to be lifted even further north. I think New Orleans, wouldn't surprise me if you get included in this down the line. Let's take a look at the computer modeling at this time. Here's the NAM model. And you can see what the NAM does here. Showers continue in the west coast, snowfall in the mountains, heavier rainfall in some areas. You can see on the NAM. Look what happens over Pennsylvania and New Jersey. Precipitation blossoms along that front. You can see here. Decent area of precipitation gets going. Snow continues in New England. Generally light snow. Northern Maine could see 1 to 3 inches of snow, like I mentioned before. Other places could see a coating to an inch, maybe across New Hampshire, Vermont, far northern New York. It's something that you should be mindful of. And then as we come into tomorrow evening, look what happens over Texas. You can see here the shower and thunderstorm activity gets going. Even in Oklahoma, showers north of there as well, as this low starts to develop over the western portions of Oklahoma and northern Texas. And you can see here, it even tries to develop a squall line on Saturday. So that's something we will have to watch. And you can see very heavy rainfall over New Orleans, Louisiana, and thunderstorm activity as well. Something else we see Saturday evening. The storm system in the west coast. It's going to be a little bit quicker to get in now. You're talking about maybe heavy rain on Saturday night. Yes, look at this in California, Southern California, and even Central California. And yes, you're looking at a system that's now coming in Saturday night into Sunday night, into Monday, and behind that, the fetch of moisture is going to continue. Taking a look here also in the southeast, you can see that storm system in the southeast, it does get its act going in places like Florida, northern Florida, and right along the Georgia coast and along South Carolina coast. You can see here, there's this fire hose of moisture that sets up. That is something we will have to watch, but it is going to, while it's going to be moving, it's going to be relatively heavy and quick. So you could quickly see a quick 1 to 2 inches of rainfall from that, maybe localized more. And look at this at the end of the dam. Heavy snow in the mountains, even Nevada. You're looking at snow. Oregon, Idaho, snow for you. Now let's go into a little bit of a longer range on the GFS. Let's see what that shows. And you can see here, again, it moves in on Saturday night now, right into Sunday. All day on Sunday in California is going to be heavy rain. And you're not in the clear on Monday as well. Showers all day on Monday. And take a look at this. More showers, mountain snow, maybe even Tuesday and into Wednesday. And then another little piece comes in behind it. It is going to be very unsettled for the majority of next week. But with the heaviest rain coming at the front side of this, Saturday night into much of the day on Monday. Sunday and Monday, it's heavy rainfall. There'll be some wind gusts. And by Monday, I think we're going to be talking about on the Monday climate update, probably some flooding. I'm sure we'll have some source of information that is showing pictures or video of flooding. Now, when we take a look at next week across the rest of the country, here's that storm system in the south. And you can see there is a narrow area with that storm system that does develop a really like a fire hose of moisture as this system gets going. Anywhere under that, you could see a flooding threat. And then this system does get moving. And by the middle of the week, it is exiting the picture. You see quiet weather in the northeast. And look at this. Yes, the midsections of the country, that is a ridge. No real wintertime cold coming anytime soon. All right, moving on now. Let's take a look at this week's drought report. And you can see here, improved conditions across portions of Texas, Arkansas, Oklahoma. There are still some drought conditions to be found in the Central Plains, the Four Corners region, but again, we are seeing improved conditions, and with more rain coming, it's going to be improved even more, especially in Louisiana. With you getting more rain, like New Orleans, you're going to see another 1 to 2 inches. Look where that red is down there. That's right also where some heavier rain is going to set up as this system is developing. So it is some welcome news for you. All right, real quickly, we do want to take a look at this. You can see this is the EPS here. And look, basically what I'm showing you here is the temperature anomalies. And you can see on the temperature anomalies, it is very warm. We're now heading into Sunday and into next week. You can see there is no real cold air by these anomalies. And the axis, the center of this, is going to be right over the plains. Right where it's usually very cold this time of year. It's not. They actually just broke a record in Minneapolis, in the Twin Cities, of 55 degrees yesterday. So, yeah, it's not very cold right now, and it's not looking to be cold anytime soon. This pattern may not change until the middle of February. You can see by the end of this run, we're getting way out there now. Even at that, it's still relatively warm and above average across much of the east. Philadelphia, Greensboro, North Carolina, Atlanta, Georgia, Chicago, Illinois, on and on I could go with the cities. St. Louis, you're all going to be above average temperatures. Now, the southwest, as you see here, there's some blue. And let me backtrack this real quickly. You can see in the southwest and the west coast, aside from a real brief break next week, look what happens behind that. Below average temperatures, maybe well below average temperatures because of the unsettled pattern that you're in. Taking a look at the Climate Prediction Center, Basically everything I just said. Well above average in the Great Lakes, east, slightly below average in Florida, below average on the west coast. Precipitation above average for the central regions, on westward, well above average in the southwest, slightly below average along the east coast, and in Florida, near normal in between. 8 to 14-day outlook for temperatures. Above average everywhere east of the Mississippi, everywhere east of the Rocky Mountains for that matter. Yeah, it's not going to be all that cold. It's going to be warm. Taking a look in the southwest, below average with a maximum right around Phoenix, Arizona, maybe over into LA, below average temperatures for you. And we take a look at the 8 to 14-day precipitation, slightly above average across much of the country, with well above in Arizona, below average in the Pacific Northwest, and near normal along the Florida coast and up in New England. Alrighty, guys, that's all I have for you today for today's climate update. After tomorrow's rain, the Northeast, your weather's looking nice. The West Coast, I'm sorry. You're not looking for nice weather for at least another week of this unsettled pattern. Yes, it's going to continue. Prepare if you live in that area. Prepare for impact because the flooding, it's going to be a real deal in California. Alrighty, guys, I'll see you all again tomorrow for another edition of the Climate Update. If you enjoyed this, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this, subscribe to my channel down below. And please share this with your friends, family, anyone who needs to see this. I will see you all again next time. Until I see you again next time, have a great afternoon. Thanks for watching.